Great.
Okay, we just finished reading and talking about who are you? The question, which is recognizing self, who are you, was the previous reading that was started on page 36 of version 6.0 of the Self-Led Project. And now we're on page 38, does self have an agenda? So let me read and discuss that with you. Now, this is an important question. Does self have an agenda? Because we will soon shift away from the study of parts, learning about them, to learning from parts. Already in Module 1, you've begun to learn how to distinguish parts by noticing the influence they have on you. And remember what Richard Schwartz said earlier in the previous quote. He said that the purpose of the IFS model, or how does he say that? The goal of IFS is to differentiate this self from the parts. Well, so what we're talking about now, does self have an agenda, is that question will help to differentiate self from parts. All right, you're wrapping up Module 1. We're moving soon, and we're going to be moving into Module 2, where you'll begin to learn. We're going to shift away from the study of parts, learning about them, to learning from them. We've got a ways to go yet, but we're going to get there. Already so far in Module 1, you've begun to learn how to distinguish parts by noticing the influence they have on you. When under the influence of a part, you may notice that you are attached to an agenda. Noticing this agenda will help you determine the activation and influence of a part. Here's another quote from Richard Schwartz. I used to believe that the self had no agenda, but over time I've realized I was wrong. The self, you got to love that about Richard, right? He can admit that he's wrong. The self is not attached to any agenda, but it does have the intention and the ability to bring healing, harmony, balance, and connectedness to any system it encounters. Let me read that again. The self is not attached to any agenda, but it does have the intention and the ability to bring healing, harmony, balance, and connectedness to any system it encounters. The larger goal of IFS is to simply give us all more access to ourselves and to bring more self-energy to our planet. That's from Internal Family Systems, 2nd edition, page 54, co-authored by Sweezy. Self is not attached to any agenda, but has one. He just said it's not an agenda as much as it is an intention, but let's call it that intention and agenda. Schwartz helps us out by defining agenda as intention. Self intends to bring healing, harmony, balance, and connectedness to internal and external systems. Studying the parts of our internal family system is best done with an intention, an agenda, to learn and understand. What might block our ability to understand our parts is judgment from another part. For example, I notice that when I say something that someone else is hurt by, I have a critical voice that shames me. I also have a part that hates the critical voice. If the part that hates the if the part that hates the critic oversees the study of the critic, it's not going to go well. However, if curiosity is guiding my study, I'm going to learn a lot. I will learn what activates the critic, and I will learn about the impact that the activated critic has on my energy, my thoughts, my emotions, and how I interact with others. The motivation to study our parts may also come from a part. Think about exercises 2 and 3, the strategies of managers and firefighters. These parts have agendas. The manager intends to prevent an exile from getting activated. The firefighter intends to calm the system after the exile has been activated. If a manager thinks that using the IFS model will help them do their job, they may be the voice that pushes you to do the work, to do this work. Curiosity is a quality of self. After learning about the critic, if I can remain curious, I may be able to learn from the critic about why they do what they do. The critic isn't likely to reveal its secrets if the part that hates the critic is influencing how I feel toward the critic. While a manager part may have motivated you to join, I see that I've got a typo there. It should say, while a manager part may have motivated you to participate in the self-led project, the process of learning about a part is best facilitated by the compassion and curiosity of self. As Richard Schwartz says, the self has the intention and the ability to bring healing, harmony, balance, and connectedness to any system it encounters. We can thank the managers and their agendas for motivating. Let me try that again. We can thank the managers and their agendas for motivating this internal investigation. Without their intentions to improve our lives, we may never have thought to look inside in this way. Next video will be on what is self-leadership.